Hey, here we go into our last week. This is week 6. The finish line is coming up upon us quickly. And really a fun week, really a cool week here. I know everybody's scrambling just a bit for our final week, but I just want to dangle this out in front of you here. This is our finisher's medal. And this goes to everybody who finishes and shows up this weekend to complete this process, right? At that time, we'll be doing our before and after pictures. We'll be doing our weigh-ins. We'll be celebrating and setting you guys up for ongoing success. So that medal means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to you guys, and really want to take a little bit of time getting you guys in that right mindset coming into this last week here, getting you prepared for a really strong finish and something that you should be proud of as well, right? So first is that kind of a cool process in reflecting, almost like New Year's, right? And we kind of go through as we're approaching these last few days, and we get to replay this entire process and journey through our minds. It's kind of flown by, and there are some weeks that were great and some weekends that were tough. But ultimately, we're going to finish, and we're going to get to this outcome or this destination that we have set forth on. So enjoying that journey along the way. I think there's a lot of things that went great. And I love to hear about what went well and what was great, and maybe some things surprised yourself, right? Or you kind of didn't think they would go as you had proven to yourself possible. And then there's other areas where, you know, we might spend a little bit of time. I encourage you, don't spend too much time in dwelling and focusing on what didn't go so great, but recognize it, acknowledge it, and then from there becoming a little more proactive in that and figuring out, well, what can I do to improve upon that, right? Rather than wallow in those, those reasonings or those rationalizing. Just figure out, hey, what it is that you want to improve on, and come up with that figuring out that system or that way of improving upon that. So really important with this here, as I know we can sometimes be pretty critical of ourselves, right? We are our own toughest critic. And so focus on this week, how far you've come. And there's been each week a little bit of something different that we've spent some homework time and some task on, figuring out what it is that we've seen change, or those differences or those improvements, all those benefits, right? How far we've come. Because I know we still hold ourselves to a really high standards, and we want to reach towards some ongoing progress. But sometimes that thinking about how far you have to go can be discouraging as well. So spend that time, swing back to how far you've come, and use that as momentum and leverage to push you towards those next achievements and accomplishments that you are working towards. Whether some of you guys, hey, maybe you hit 20 pounds in 4 weeks. Some of you guys, maybe you need 8 weeks to hit those 20 pounds. But if that's really what you came here for, make sure that you accomplish that, right? Just this 6-week mark, it's not an end, it's not a stop, it's not a abandoned ship, right? It's a checkpoint. Are we at the pace that we'd like to? Yes, great. Hey, if we need a few more weeks, let's stick to that, right? Continue on that path, continue on that journey, rather than saying up, stop, done, and I'll go opposite direction. You're already moving in the right direction. Maybe you need a little bit longer, but talk about where you're gonna be in those next 4 months, in the next 6 months, in the next year, in the next 4 years, right? There's an old saying that says, success is not final and fear is not fatal, but it's that courage to continue that counts. And that's one of my favorite sayings here for you guys to check in on, right? Because I know there's going to be a lot of celebrations and there's a lot of emotions going on this weekend here. But start to set that scene for yourself here, so that this isn't a one and done, and I've been there, had done that once type of accomplishment, but that this is really the jumping point for you to continue and live this lifestyle, protect the results that you work so hard for. Part of that process in protecting your results as well is sitting again and meeting with your coaches, coming up with that plan. You were able to be so successful in this setting here because of that environment, and because of that plan helps you stick to it and stay accountable to that, right? So having that plan, getting in with your coaches for nutrition, meal prep and meal planning type of sessions, and also talking about activity sessions. Right? Is it going to stay the same? Does it need to transition a little bit? How do those parameters change outside of this 6-week challenge type of a setting, right? And we know that the environment, that results has been very conducive to your success, has been very conducive to your consistency. And so by all means, we want to continue to support you guys on that, and talking about what's next for you guys. Sharing that with your coaches now becomes our duty, now becomes our responsibility to continue in encouraging you and supporting you in those accomplishments, or whatever those goals are that you have, right? When we talk about goals here, typically there's 3 types of people out there. Either we're pinned, pumped, or punished when it comes to setting goals. And for these last 6 weeks, we pinned you guys to some goals. We said you got to be at this weight by this time, and we've chased towards that, right? Some people, they might set their goals because they're punished. My doctor said I need to do this, or if I don't, I'm going to be on blood pressure medication or diabetes medication, or if I don't change my ways, I only have 6 months to live, right? That's kind of a punishment type of mentality I'm running away from. But ultimately, want to either figure out getting you guys pinned to some of the next goals, or are you so excited about this self-motivation or this intrinsic motivation now that you're pumped? Right? You're just excited to do this and continue on no matter what. You know, we don't necessarily need to run away from something. You're able to keep yourself accountable to that. Want to get you guys there, and it's okay if we're not there quite yet. I know 6 weeks is a short amount of time, and the body's still really getting used to the lifestyle. So continue to set those check marks, continue to have that plan, and have that accountability as need be going on to this. Got a lot coming up here for you guys this week. Coaches will be talking to you guys more about your weigh-ins. That'll be at your home gym coming up this weekend. They'll get you guys more information on times and details as such. Be safe on your final week here, team. Be safe and finish with integrity. Want to make sure that we finish without really any what ifs, right? Finish what you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do it, and finish with pride on that, right? Want to make sure you guys are proud of what you did and excited to share those stories. So we'll be looking for you guys at the end of this week, collecting your check-ins, and also paying it forward, sharing your story on maybe it's Yelp or Google or Facebook. Your story is going to relate and connect with somebody that is maybe on the fence and relates to where you're at and is so inspired that they're going to take that leap, they're going to take that jump, they're going to get started and take action. So that means a lot to us, and we look forward to finishing. We look forward to celebrating with you on the finish line. By all means, challengers, wherever we're at, we finish. Look forward to seeing you guys and celebrating with you at that time.